Okay guys, here's a video on today's assignment in case you are struggling. Slide number 3, you're going to begin with slide number 3 after you watch your video. You're going to write all your points. So your point for B, you're using x comma y. So here x is negative 6. Let me erase this. And your y value here is 0. So x is negative 6 and y is 0. So B is going to be negative 6 comma 0. Point C, so you'd write that right here in the blank. Point C, you're going to write your x comma y. So point C is going to be at negative 4 for x and negative 4 for y. Point D, you're going to write your x value, negative 2, and your y value, positive 6. So comma. So I think you guys can finish off the last tube on your own. Okay, here you should have watched the video and you're going to learn about slope formula. On the next slide, you are going to fill out this information. So use the slope formula to find the slope of line AC in the graph. So first thing you want to do is identify your ordered pairs. Ordered pair for A, you come over here to A, x comma y. So 1 comma 6. X is 1, y is 6. So you put 1 here, you put 6 here. Point C, it's going to be 5 comma 1. So 5 comma 1. You designate your x1, y1, x2, y2. So let's go ahead and identify that. It doesn't matter which one you choose. You can just choose the first point as your x1, the second point as your y1, the next point as your x2, the second point as your y2. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug it into the formula. y2 goes first, so you put 1, minus y1, you put 6, over x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 1. So you're going to simplify. So you're going to put each piece into your calculator and simplify. So if you take 1 minus 6, that's a negative 5. And then you put 5 minus 1 in your calculator, you're going to get a positive 4. If you put it in the calculator and you take negative 5 and divide by 4, you're going to get a decimal of negative 1.5. Don't write the decimal. Just leave it like this. Because what we learned from yesterday is that this negative 5 tells me I'm going down 5, and my 4 tells me I'm going right 4. So let's leave it as a fraction. Okay? If you need more time, pause the video. I'm going to move on. On this next slide, we're going to do the exact same thing. So looking at this, we're going to identify the point for D. The point for D is going to be negative 3, 4. So negative 3, comma, positive 4. The point for F is going to be at positive 4, comma 1. So 4, comma 1. So here, if I plug in my slope formula, I need to label my points. So label my x1, my y1, and again, it doesn't matter which one you label x1 and y1 as long as you follow the formula. X2, y2. So these are your x's and these are your y's. You just give them a number. So now let's go ahead and plug into the formula. It says y1 is 1 minus, so y2 is 1 minus y1 is 4 over x2, 4, minus x1, negative 3. So be careful here. You're going to notice minus and negative. You need to put that in the calculator exactly the way it is. And I can even show you on the Desmos calculator, you can put this entire fraction in your calculator exactly the way it is. So I'm going to write this down, and we're going to go back and forth to put it in our Desmos calculator correctly. So 1 minus 4 over 4 minus a negative 3. You need to write it exactly like that in the calculator. So if I pull up my Desmos calculator, Desmos calculator, I'm going to type in that fraction that we came up with. So let me go to my Desmos scientific calculator first. Okay, so if we set it up as a fraction and we type in what we wrote down, 1 minus 4 over 4 minus a negative 3. Don't forget, you're going to get that long decimal, but you remember, convert it to a fraction. Negative 3 over 7. That's because 1 minus 4 is negative 3. 4 minus a negative 3 is 4 plus 3, because minus a negative becomes positive. This entire fraction is negative because the negative 3. So we're going to go back and we're going to type in our answer as negative 3 over 7, and you leave it as a fraction. All right, your next example. You're going to have ordered pairs again. So let's label our ordered pair for J. J is going to be at negative 3, negative 3. Both x and y are negative 3. So negative 3, negative 3. H is going to be at positive 1, comma 4. So 1, comma 4. So you label your x and y values from here. So I have x1, y1, x2, y2. So now we're going to plug in our values. So y2 minus y1. So y2 is 4. Minus y1 is a negative 3. So you plug it in with the sign. x2 is 1. Minus y1 is negative 3. So 4 minus a negative 3 is a positive 7. 1 minus a negative 3 is a positive 4. So 7 over 4. And again, you can put this in the calculator exactly the way it is. So you should write this down. 4 minus a negative 3 over 1 minus a negative 3. And I'm going to show you how this looks in the Desmos calculator. So if we put this in the Desmos calculator, we're going to put a fraction first. And then you're going to type in 4 minus a negative 3 over 1 minus a negative 3. You get 1.75 converted to a fraction, 7 over 4. And that's what we came up with here. All right. Here is your checking your work, and here's your exit ticket. So please make sure that you try this on your own and write your slope in a fraction if it is a fraction.